Chapter 169. Old Master Ching seemed to have seen through her thoughts. Feeling helpless and distressed, he rebuked her. "You're so promising. My grandfather, father, brother, uncle, and future husband are all so outstanding. Why do I need to be so promising?" What she wanted from the beginning to the end was for herself and her family to be safe and successful for the rest of her life. "I'm relying on you to protect me for the rest of my life. You can't get rid of me even if you want to." Old Master Ching rolled his eyes at her. "Forget it. Since you have your own ideas, I won't ask you anymore. It's fine as long as you know what you're doing." Su Yiyan's heart warmed. She was extremely grateful for this old man's tolerance and love for her. Even when she had taken out those things for the first time and showed them to him, he had obviously been extremely surprised. However, after she expressed that she didn't want to say more, he chose to be tolerant and didn't ask any more questions. He even took the initiative to help her make up an excuse to fool the people in the research institute. After they finished talking about business, Old Master Ching didn't ask her to stay any longer. He only reluctantly reminded her, "You must come back before 10 o'clock tonight." Ching Shuqin and the others chased after them and added, "You can't stay overnight. You can't kiss. You can't do anything other than holding hands." Su Yiyan. "Aren't you guys thinking too much?" When Hua Chenhuan saw Su Yiyan, the first thing he saw was her almost completely red ears. He raised his eyebrows slightly and vaguely guessed something. "Did you wait long? Sorry for the delay." When Su Yiyan saw Hua Chenhuan's eyes light up, she immediately went forward and hugged him. In fact, she wanted to hang her whole body on Hua Chenhuan's body and be at ease as a human pendant. Unfortunately, it was a little difficult for Hua Chenhuan to fulfill her wish now. When she thought of this, Su Yiyan couldn't wait to get married. As long as she got married, she could logically move into the family Hua mansion and start her treatment. "It's fine, we just arrived." Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyan's cold hand and rubbed it. She frowned and said, "It's cold outside. Let's get into the car first." "Yes." As soon as the two of them got into the car, Su Yiyan took out the cake and egg tarts from the box. "These are the cakes and egg tarts I made. Try them and see if you like them. Oh, by the way, there's also soy milk. I ground it just now and it's still warm. Drink some to warm your body first." Hua Chenhuan took the soy milk and touched it. Sure enough, it was still warm. It felt warm and comfortable in her hands. However, his first thought was not to drink it. Instead, he pulled Su Yiyan's hand and covered it with his. As a result, the scene in the car changed to Su Yiyan's hand holding the cup, and Hua Chenhuan's hand covering the back of Su Yiyan's hand. Her palm and the back of her hand were both warm. Soon, Su Yiyan's cold hand was warmed up. Yu Zian sat in the driver's seat. He wanted to see what was going on in the back seat through the rearview mirror. What entered his eyes was this sparkling scene. It almost blinded his titanium dog eyes. "Your scarf?" Su Yiyan's hand was covered. She finally noticed the snow-white scarf that Hua Chenhuan was wearing today. Wasn't this one of the scarves that she had chosen for Hua Chenhuan when she went shopping with him last time? "It doesn't look good." "No, it looks good, very good. You're super handsome today." "Yes." Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up, and the tips of her ears turned red. Chapter 170. Su Yiyan held the cup of soy milk for a while and felt that her hands had warmed up a little. She began to urge Hua Chenhuan to eat. "Try this egg tart. It's been baked for a while and it's a little cold. The outer skin might not be as crispy as before." Hua Chenhuan took a bite of the brightly colored egg tart from Su Yiyan's outstretched hand. The slightly cold skin of the egg tart was a little chewy, and the golden liquid was soft and fragrant, just like the person beside her. "It's delicious. I'm glad you like it." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief and took out the exquisite little cake. "I wanted to draw two people and a dun-dun, but I found it difficult to draw people. Let me practice a little more. On the day of our wedding, I'll make a big cake and put it in the living room of the old mansion. What do you think? Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up when he heard that. Okay. Su Yiyan was relieved to see that Hua Chenhuan didn't reject the two things. She passed the other one she prepared to use Zian. Time is limited, and it's a little troublesome to make a cake. I only made 2. One is at home, and the other is for your young master. I made quite a lot of egg tart. Take it back and try it with the others later. Yu Zian, who was driving, was almost moved to tears. He instantly forgot about the anger from being abused. While waiting for the car, he hurriedly took the box that Su Yiyan passed to him. Thank you, Miss Su. I'll definitely take it back and share it with the others. Yu Zian stole a glance at Hua Chenhuan when he said this. Seeing that he didn't have any reaction, he happily placed the box of egg tart in the front seat. He couldn't help but take a few glances at it before he drove off. Those who didn't know better would think that he was looking at his dream lover. After arriving at the hospital, Hua Chenhuan accompanied Su Yiyan upstairs while Yu Zian waited downstairs. As soon as the two of them left, Yu Zian shot a short video. It was a 360-degree loop, trying to capture all the scrumptiousness of the egg tarts in this short video. After taking the picture, Yu Zian enjoyed it for a while before sending it to the group of 3. He said happily, "Look, what's this?" Although Zui Yanbai and Gu Xiaoyang were both in the company, their working hours were relatively flexible, so they replied almost instantly. Lai Gu Xiaoyang, F***CK. What kind of peerless cutie, no, peerless delicacy was this? Hand it over and I won't kill you. Silence like a pine tree, is this food? Fisherman Zian, he, I didn't waste so much effort to get this spot today. Young madam made some snacks and drinks for young master, and she also prepared some for us. She was so considerate and kind. Sob, I was so touched that I was about to cry. Lai Gu Xiaoyang, jealousy makes me ugly. JPG, jealousy makes me cry. JPG, jealousy makes me dissociate. JPG, crying. JPG, why wasn't I the one who went with her today? Quiet as a pine, us? So all of us have a share. Fisherman Zian, it's me and Xiaoyang. You don't have a share. Lai Gu Xiaoyang, yes, you don't have a share. It's all me and Zian's, blissful. JPG, quiet as a pine. You guys are openly abusing your power for personal gain and embezzling public property. Fisherman Zian, so what? Young madam only said that she would let us have a taste. She didn't mention any names. Since it's in my hands, I have the final say. Lai Gu Xiaoyang, that's right. Traitors have no right to speak. Get lost. Righteous. JPG. Chapter 171. Su Yiyan did not know that the snacks she made had once again witnessed a fake brotherly relationship. When she wheeled Hua Chenhuan into Ning Chirui's ward, she was surprised to find that there was another person in addition to Ning Xiyuan. This is... Su Yiyan frowned and looked displeased. She had confirmed the time of visit with the Ning brothers before she came, and this person was still in the ward at this time. Obviously, the brothers had agreed. Su Yiyan was a little dissatisfied with the way the two brothers casually revealed the fact that she had treated Ning Chirui to others. As if he could read Su Yiyan's mind, Yang Jinyu quickly stepped forward like a little fanboy and wanted to hold Su Yiyan's hand. Su Yiyan was shocked, and Hua Chenhuan immediately pulled Su Yiyan to her side. Her sharp gaze was like a sharp knife cutting at Yang Jinyu. What do you want to do? Yang Jinyu thought that he had seen a lot of big shots, but when he met Hua Chenhuan's gaze, he could not help but feel scared. When he saw Su Yiyan's guarded gaze, he also realized that he had lost his composure. He laughed dryly and said, sorry, I was too presumptuous. My name is Yang Jinyu, and I'm Chirui's good friend. I was worried when I found out that Chirui was sick. After knowing that Miss Su had a way to cure him, I was a little excited. Please forgive me for offending Miss Su. I really don't mean any harm. As Yang Jinyu spoke, he automatically took a few steps back to show that he was harmless. Ning Siyuan saw that the atmosphere was a little awkward, so he quickly stepped forward to smooth things over. Jinyu and us brothers grew up together. When Chirue was sick, he was also concerned and insisted on staying to see you. We were too presumptuous. If Miss Su minds, we won't let him come next time. Since Ning Siyuan had said so, Su Yiyen did not pursue the matter. After all, she did not explicitly ask the brothers not to spread news about her. It's okay, but next time, I hope that President Ning will let me know in advance so that I can be mentally prepared. Of course. Just as Su Yiyen expected, after she left yesterday, Ning Siyuan asked the doctor in the hospital to do a full-body checkup on Ning Chirue. He did it again after eating the medicinal cuisine she sent over. Although the effect was a little subtle at first, after taking a few medicinal meals, Ning Chirue's illness did improve a little in terms of overall data. In Ning Siyuan's opinion, this was still far from enough. However, to the doctors in the hospital, it was already considered a miracle to be able to achieve such results in such a short period of time. Although Ning Siyuan didn't know much about medicine, he could tell from the doctor's reactions that Su Yiyen was truly capable and wasn't trying to be mysterious. His attitude towards Su Yiyen was much warmer than before. Seeing that Su Yiyen's expression was slightly better because of his words, Ning Siyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He took the initiative to change the topic. Miss Su, this is my fiancé, Hua Chenhuan. As soon as she said this, Ning Siyuan and Yang Jinyu looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. They had heard of Hua Chenhuan's name before, but they did not expect to meet him here. Moreover, seeing how this person was subconsciously protecting Su Yiyen just now, the groundless rumors outside would probably be false. Chapter 172. No one disliked being praised for having a good relationship with the person they liked, and Su Yiyen was no exception. She smiled faintly and glanced at Hua Chenhuan with a smug look that said, "You don't have to tell me that." The coldness in Hua Chenhuan's eyes dissipated when he saw her like this, but he ignored Ning Siyuan and simply said, "Let's get down to business." The sooner they finished, the sooner they could leave. He really did not like the way these men looked at his wife. Su Yiyen saw his impatience and wanted to get it done quickly. She patted Hua Chenhuan's shoulder to comfort him and walked to Ning Chirue's bedside. "Have you eaten all the food that was delivered these 2 days?" After Ning Chirue saw Wen Jingping's true colors, he also understood that he had been used as a tool and wrongly blamed Su Yiyen. Now that he saw Su Yiyen, he felt uncomfortable and hesitated for a long time. In the end, it was Ning Siyuan who answered for him. "Yes, I asked someone to watch him eat. He ate all of it, not leaving anything behind." "Oh." Su Yiyen saw Ning Chirue's embarrassment and thought of the system's announcement yesterday. She turned her eyes slightly and joked, "Is it delicious?" Ning Chirue's expression became more and more uncomfortable, but Yang Jinyu suddenly jumped out at this time and said, "It's delicious. When it was delivered, I happened to be next to it. That smell. TSK, it really makes people salivate. Especially that fish." Whenever Yang Jinyu thought of that smell, he could not help but show an intoxicated expression on his face. When he interrupted, Ning Chirue was unhappy. "You haven't eaten it, how do you know it's delicious? You still have the nerve to say that. Brother, I usually think of you first when I have something good. You're not even willing to give me a mouthful of fish or even a mouthful of soup. What's the use of having a brother like you? Don't forget, I'm a patient now. Those dishes were originally made for me. You snatched food from a patient and still have the nerve to tell others. Do you have any shame? Shame on you. You." Su Yiyen was speechless. Did he overturn the boat of friendship just because of a mouthful of food? What kind of fake brotherhood was this? After Ning Chirue finished rebuking Yang Jinyu, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. He looked around in confusion and instantly met Hua Chenhuan's cold gaze. Ning Chirue was speechless. Damn, what was wrong with this person? He looked like he wanted to eat someone. Just as she was panicking, she heard Su Yiyen ask a question even though she already knew the answer. So, you don't think those dishes taste good? Ning Chirue was slightly startled. He finally blushed and said reluctantly. It's delicious. Since you're willing to cooperate, let's proceed with the next treatment. As usual, leave only a few people in the ward. Don't let anyone disturb you. Don't worry, during this period of time, only our people will be on this floor. No one will disturb you. That's good. Although Yang Jinyu had been reminded before not to make a fuss no matter what he saw, he could not help but gasp when he saw Su Yiyen take out a large row of needles and intend to stick the needles into Ning Chirue's body. Just like the day before, Su Yiyen's acupuncture points were mostly on the back. The difference was that this time, she inserted a few more places than before. Moreover, she had not prepared the moxibustion the day before, so the effect would be better. Yang Jinyu watched as Ning Chirue was pricked by needles and scalded by the finger-like fragrance. He suddenly felt that the world was a bit mysterious. Chapter 173. Compared to Yang Jinyu, who was doubting his life, Ning Chirue did not feel good either. Su Yiyen touched his body with the familiar scent, but it did not hurt much. Just like what Yang Jinyu thought, he also felt that his whole body was fragrant. He could eat it after adding some salt and other seasonings. Thinking of the delicious food Su Yiyen sent over not long ago, Ning Chirue wondered if he was the meat on the chopping board in Su Yiyen's eyes. Of course, this was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that the burning thing on his body was actually quite hot. But every time Su Yiyen's hand touched his back, he could not help but shudder inexplicably. Was this also a sign that the treatment was working? Siyuan, can this really cure the disease? I think Chirue is going to be pricked like a hedgehog. Ning Siyuan looked at the inexplicably scary needles on his brother's back and raised his eyebrows. It does look scarier than yesterday. That's what I said, but the data can't fool people. Since you want to cure the disease, you have to suffer a little. Getting well is the most important thing. Yang Jinyu was speechless. He was indeed his brother. He could not refute him. After Ning Siyuan finished speaking, he did not look at Su Yiyen and Su Yiyen. Instead, he turned to look at Hua Chenhuan, who was not far away. He had long heard that this family Hua was indifferent and scary. Because of her health, she did not see outsiders all year round. Now that he had met her, the rumors were true. It was just that when facing Su Yiyen, she would always carefully hide her scary hostility, as if she was afraid of hurting her. This conclusion made Ning Siyuan a little surprised, but it was surprisingly compatible with the two people in front of him. It seemed that the rumors outside were somewhat credible, but some were not. These two people were said to be forced into a marriage, but in fact, they were already in love with each other. If word got out, who knew how many people would be shocked? While countless thoughts flashed through Ning Siyuan's mind, Su Yiyen had finally inserted all the needles into the corresponding acupoints. After that, she still needed to leave the needles for another 20 to 30 minutes and gently twist the needles occasionally. When Yang Jinyu saw that Su Yiyen had stopped, he thought that she was done. He sneaked up to Ning Chirue and asked in a low voice, "Brother, are you okay?" Ning Chirue looked up at him and said weakly, "I think I can still be saved." Pfft. Su Yiyen almost laughed out loud. "Alright, don't make it sound like I'm abusing you. You're so comfortable that you're about to fall asleep. Do you want me to rescue you in your dream?" Ning Chirue's face turned red. He recalled how he had inexplicably fallen asleep the last time. Now that he thought about it, he still felt inexplicably embarrassed. She must have done something when she stabbed herself. She must have. Half an hour later, Su Yiyen pulled out all the needles that had been inserted into his body. His forehead was covered in a layer of sweat. Just as she exhaled, a hand reached over and wiped the sweat on her forehead. "Are you tired?" "I'm okay." Su Yiyen enjoyed Hua Chenhuan's thoughtfulness with a clear conscience. Her eyes were sparkling as she said, I've made you wait for so long. You must be bored, right? Hua Chenhuan shook her head. I'm not bored. I'm happy just watching you do nothing. Su Yayan was taken aback, and then she smiled foolishly. Yang Jinyu and Ning Siyuan, who were caught off guard and fed a mouthful of dog food, were speechless. Chapter 174. Su Yiyan was happy that Hua Chenhuan dared to say sweet nothings to her in front of so many people, but she also desperately wanted to spend time with Hua Chenhuan alone. Therefore, after Hua Chenhuan helped her wipe her sweat, Su Yiyan immediately turned to look at Ning Siyuan and said, Today's treatment will end here. I'll come back in a week. Remember to send someone to collect the remaining medicinal cuisine from my house on time. I've already stewed it before I came out tonight. You can send someone to collect it when it's time. My housekeeper will bring it to you. Ning Siyuan understood why the housekeeper was the one to collect it and not Su Yiyan herself. He glanced at the two of them and smiled faintly. Okay, I'll send someone over on time. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first. Okay, I'll send you out. No need, we can go out on our own. You stay here and take care of your brother. This. Ning Siyuan still wanted to say something, but Yang Jinyu had already interrupted. I'm going back too. Siyuan, you stay here and accompany Chirue. I'll send them out. Okay then. As soon as the three of them left, Ning Chirue could not help but ask his eldest brother, Brother, do you think Su Yiyan can really cure my illness? It's an undeniable fact that your physical condition is getting better. Even if she can't completely cure you, it's good to stabilize your condition and prevent it from getting worse. That's true. Ning Chiroi nodded, but he was not optimistic. But brother, don't get your hopes up. If she can really cure my illness, why doesn't she treat her fiancé's leg? Maybe she wants to treat it, but she hasn't cured it yet. Don't you need to treat your illness for a while to know if it can be cured? Brother, what you said makes sense. I just hope that she can really do it. Ning Chiroi pondered and frowned. I didn't expect her fiancé to be. Brother, do you think the two of them really have feelings for each other? Didn't you just see it? Ning Chiroi thought of how much public display of affection he had just witnessed. He choked and muttered indignantly, what we see may not be true. Maybe it's just an act for us. Ning Siyuan was amused by his words. Who do you think you are that she has to put on an act for you? Do you know who was in the wheelchair just now? Hua Xiaofeng's uncle? That's because you're inexperienced and don't understand. The outside world had never associated him with Hua Xiaofeng's family. It was too degrading. Even I, strictly speaking, have to call him Uncle Hua or even Master Hua. Is he that powerful? Ning Chirue was taken aback. In the upper-class society, the titles uncle and grandpa referred not only to seniority, but also to status and ability. Ning Siyuan sighed helplessly as he looked at his younger brother, who always appeared especially naive and sweet at times like this. I see that your attitude towards that Miss Su isn't as repulsive as before. If that's the case, be nicer to her in the future. First of all, she's treating your illness now. Whether it's you or our family, we all owe her a favor. Second of all, you saw it just now. That gentleman dotes on Miss Su like she's his treasure. If you're still so insensible, I can't protect you. Chapter 175. Su Yiyan pushed Hua Chenhuan out, and Yang Jinyu followed behind like a little tail. Along the way, he didn't find a chance to talk to Su Yiyan. Seeing that the two were about to leave the hospital, Yang Jinyu finally couldn't help but step forward and say, Miss Su. Su Yiyan paused and turned to look at him in confusion. Mr. Yang, is there anything else? Air. Yang Jinyu felt a chill at the back of his head when Hua Chenhuan suddenly glanced at him coldly. But when he thought of his own situation, he braced himself and went to Su Yiyan's side and whispered, Miss Su, are you the streamer of Yanyan's little Yanyan kitchen? You are. Su Yiyan's eyes narrowed slightly, and she subconsciously glanced at Hua Chenhuan. After seeing that she didn't seem to hear Yang Jinyo's words, she frowned and said, "What Yan Yan's little kitchen? I've never heard of it." Su Yiyan's reaction was within Yang Jinyo's expectations. He hurriedly explained, "Miss Su, don't be nervous. I'm a loyal viewer of your live broadcast room, and I was lucky enough to be selected by you before." "You are?" Su Yiyan's words were tantamount to admitting that she was the streamer in disguise. Ahem. Yang Jinyu touched his nose and seemed to be a little embarrassed to admit his ID. "I'm that, golden gun will not fall." Su Yiyan suddenly realized that she still had an impression of this ID. After all, he was a frequent guest of her live broadcast room who often gave her a large reward, and she couldn't forget his name even if she wanted to. This could also explain why he was so excited when he saw her in the ward. Seeing that Su Yiyan seemed to remember him, Yang Jinyo's eyes lit up. He said awkwardly and flatteringly, "Well, Miss Su, can I have a word with you?" Su Yiyan raised his eyebrows. He could understand the man's previous problem. He lowered his head and reported to Hua Chenhuan, "This is one of my former patients. I'm going to talk to him for a while. I'll be back soon. Wait for me here." After saying that, he kissed his hand and then pressed it on Hua Chenhuan's face. "Yang Jinyu? What kind of operation was this?" Hua Chenhuan's originally gloomy face was also dazed by her kiss. Su Yiyan, on the other hand, revealed a mischievous smile and said cheerfully, "Before we came out, my parents specifically told me that we're not allowed to kiss." "Yang Jinyu. So you used this method with your fiancé? Ahem, no wonder you're a streamer. You really know how to play." Hua Chenhuan was teased by her, and the coldness on his face dissipated a lot. He reluctantly said, "Go early and come back early. Just a few words. I'll be back soon." After saying that, he winked at Yang Jinyu. Yang Jinyu understood and hurriedly led Su Yiyan to a long corridor not far away. This way, Hua Chenhuan could see them and not let him hear their conversation. "Tell me, how did you recognize me? Why are you looking for me?" "It was purely an accident that I recognized you. Yesterday, I went to the hospital to visit Chirue, and his agent happened to come over to deliver dinner to him." Su Yiyan understood instantly. This person was a viewer of her live broadcast room. During her live broadcast yesterday, he also gave her a few rewards. Naturally, he knew what she had cooked yesterday afternoon. These dishes appeared at Ning Chirue's place shortly after that, so it was not surprising that he would be suspicious. Chapter 176. Treat you too. Su Yiyan looked surprised. She subconsciously took 2 steps back and looked Yang Jinyu up and down. She found that he did have some physical problems, but they were not too serious. Didn't the soup last time work? Su Yiyan agreed to come over and talk to Yang Jinyu alone because she wanted to know the effect of her previous tonic soup. After all, Hua Chenhuan's problem was not just her legs. It worked, it worked. Yang Jinyu hurriedly responded, and then said a little embarrassedly, "I drank the soup at that time, and it worked on the same day. But a few days later, it was." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. She had a rough understanding. "In other words, you did have some effect after drinking my soup, but a few days later, you relapsed." "Yeah. Then, what have you been doing these past few days?" Yang Jinyo's expression was slightly stiff. When he mentioned these things to Ning Chirue before, he was still confident and proud. But when it came to Su Yiyan, he only felt indescribably embarrassed. Just like before, with my girlfriend. You know." Su Yiyan blinked and laughed out loud. "No, I'm very pure. I don't know anything. Yang Jinyu. Before saying this, could you please take back the dog food you fed me before?" Fortunately, after teasing him, Su Yiyan did not make things too difficult for Yang Jinyu. She went back to the topic and said, "So, after the soup worked, you couldn't wait to do it with your girlfriend again?" "Yeah. Su Yiyan sighed and said earnestly, young people, you can't fool around just because you are young. If something really goes wrong, it will be too late to regret it. Yang Jinyu wanted to cry. He was a man in his late 30s, and he was being lectured by a girl who was a few years younger than him. He felt a little embarrassed, but he had to agree. Yes, you are right. I have a rough idea of what your illness is. Su Yiyan glanced at him and gave him a heads up. But after this experience, you should have realized that although my medicinal cuisine can help you recover, if you don't take care of yourself for a period of time, your body will still be emptied out sooner or later. Then what should we do? I can help you treat it, but you have to know your limits. Appropriately. Ahem, control yourself. Otherwise, even if I can cure your illness, I won't be able to cure your own death. Although Su Yiyan's words were not very polite, his words were crude but reasonable. Yang Jinyu blushed and hurriedly said, as long as Miss Su can help treat it, I promise to keep myself clean from now on and abstain from sex. Being able to use it and not being able to use it were two completely different concepts. When it came to a man's dignity, Yang Jinyu decisively chose the former. Well, I don't plan to go home for the time being. You can do a full body checkup yourself, and then send me the medical report by private message. I will look at it when I go back. Yang Jinyu's physical condition was not complicated. Years of unrestrained sexual activity had made his body weak and weary. Simply put, his body was hollowed out. When Hu Chenhuan heard this, she no longer remembered the sour feeling she had when she saw Su Yiyan smiling so happily at a strange man. She reached out and touched Su Yiyan's face, smiled, and said, "Thank you." Su Yiyan took the opportunity to hold Hu Chenhuan's hand and smiled slightly. "Why are you thanking me? If you want to thank me, wait until I cure you in the future." "Okay." Hu Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's shining eyes, and her mood was affected. "Don't worry, you can take your time. Even if you can't cure me, it doesn't matter." Chapter 178. Su Yiyan was a little unhappy when she heard what he said. "What are you talking about? I can definitely cure you. When I'm ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture, I'll treat you. One day, I'll let everyone see a brand new you." Ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture? Hu Chenhuan repeated Su Yiyan's words. Her eyes flashed and she probed, "So, the reason why you're treating them is to practice?" Su Yiyan was stunned. Her little trick had been exposed unexpectedly. It was really difficult to resist. "Ahem, you can't put it that way. Although I'm not very proficient, I'm treating them seriously. You can't completely say that I'm using them as practice." Hu Chenhuan was not so easily fooled by her. She joked, "You mean that there's still a certain element of it, right?" Yes, you're right." Su Yiyan glared at him angrily. She went back behind him with a blushing face. As she pushed the wheelchair forward, she muttered softly, "It's good that you know." Why did you have to say it out loud? I'm so embarrassed. Hu Chenhuan could not help but smile when she heard that. She replied softly, "Okay, I won't say it." Su Yiyan was speechless. She sounded like she was coaxing a child. Did she think that he was coaxing her like Dun Dun? Yuzian waited downstairs for an hour or two, but he was not bored at all. First, he took the box of egg tarts and joked around with Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan. Later, he could not resist the temptation and ate too. While eating, he even made a scoundrel. He recorded the whole process of eating into a short video and sent it to the group chat. Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan almost crawled over the internet to beat him up. When he was full of hatred, Su Yiyan were about to go downstairs. Yuzian saw the two of them coming out from afar. He quickly put away his phone and the box and took a careful look at himself in the mirror. After confirming that there were no traces of eating on his face, he turned to look out of the car window. At first glance, she felt that the atmosphere between the two of them was not right. Compared to before they were admitted to the hospital, they seemed to be even more lovey-dovey. It's getting late. Let's find a place to have dinner. Hua Chenhuan didn't say yes or no. After a moment of silence, she said, before that, can you accompany me somewhere? Where is it? We'll know when we get there. Su Yiyen was a little surprised. This guy actually learned how to be mysterious. It seemed that he had learned a lot from his subordinates during this time. Hua Chenhuan didn't say anything, so she didn't ask. However, the place that Hua Chenhuan wanted to take her to seemed a little far. After driving for about half an hour, Su Yiyen couldn't help but yawn. She had been busy the whole day, making egg tarts and cakes at home. She was so busy that she didn't even take an afternoon nap. Chapter 179. Su Yiyen woke up after a series of jolts. The sky was completely dark, and she could hear the sound of rolling water. Su Yiyen took a few seconds to figure out her situation. She looked at the sparkling water not far away. Recalling what happened before she fell asleep, she couldn't help but make a bold guess. Someone couldn't have sold her out, right? You're awake? A familiar voice came from beside her. Su Yiyen was shocked. She realized that the person she was suspicious of was sitting on the other side. What are you thinking about? Hua Chenhuan moved in front of Su Yiyen, less than 10 centimeters in front of her, and said meaningfully, You think I sold you out? Su Yiyen laughed foolishly and changed the topic. Where are we? I think there's water outside. It's a small island in the suburbs. Small island? Fortunately, Su Yiyen wasn't drinking water, or she would have choked. Why did you bring me here in the middle of the night? Are you plotting something against me? Yes. Hua Chenhuan admitted that he was plotting something against his future wife. Su Yiyen. Do you have to be so honest? Should I cooperate or not? We'll talk about the rest later. Let's eat first. Hua Chenhuan pulled Su Yiyen out of the cabin. Su Yiyen realized that they were indeed at the edge of a small island. The water in the distance was dark and looked a little gloomy. Fortunately, the boat and the beach they were on were brightly lit. They could see the end of the boat at a glance, so it wasn't particularly scary. The two's dinner was personally delivered by the boat's chef. The taste wasn't bad, but it was still edible. It was quite romantic to enjoy a candlelight dinner with the person you love on a yacht. The premise was that they had to ignore the sea breeze that almost blew them into idiots. Hua Chenhuan seemed to have realized the drawbacks of this arrangement. As soon as they finished dinner, she suggested, Do you want to go up and take a look at our manor? We? What's mine is yours. This island is ours. Naturally, the manor on it is also ours. Su Yiyen's eyes lit up. Sure enough, she was persuaded. Okay, it just so happens that I haven't seen the manor on the island. I'll take you there. Yes. The manor that Hua Chenhuan mentioned was actually quite a distance away from the coast, but the two of them had just finished eating, so they could use this opportunity to take a walk to digest their food. This island looks pretty. Although it was night time, they could still see the large green plants planted on the island. The fine sand on the beach should have been filtered in advance. Under the reflection of the light, it shone like the starry sky. It was very comfortable to step on. There's no way there's no news about such a beautiful island. I've never heard of such a beautiful island before. Hua Chenhuan saw that she liked the island. The corners of her lips curled up. She explained, This island is private. It has never been disclosed to the public before. Naturally, there's no news about it. Su Yiyen nodded, indicating that she understood. If she owned an island alone, she wouldn't want to disclose it either. She wouldn't want her private territory to become a place for other people's entertainment. It would cause her to be disturbed. Hua Chenhuan saw that she didn't speak. She suddenly turned her head and asked, Aren't you going to ask me why I don't disclose it to the public? Why? Chapter 180. Su Yiyen was slightly startled, and her face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before this, she was the one who teased Hua Chenhuan most of the time. Why did it suddenly turn around today? She was afraid that this guy had not only learned how to flatter his subordinates, but also learned all kinds of flirting words. Su Yiyen was already unable to resist him when he didn't say flirtatious words. Now that he was saying flirtatious words, Su Yiyen couldn't stop the smoke from coming out of her head. She was excited and shy at the same time. Hua Chenhuan didn't seem to intend to let her go so easily. Seeing that she didn't speak, he asked again, "Why don't you ask me who I like?" Su Yiyen thought to herself, "Who else can you like besides me?" But if she really said this, it would be too narcissistic. Su Yiyen held back for a while, but in the end, she followed his words and asked, "Who do you like?" Hua Chenhuan suddenly turned his head and looked straight into her eyes. He smiled and said, "You." These two short words were more straightforward and sweet than any words of love in the world. Su Yiyen's face turned completely red. "Do you mean that this island is for me?" "Yes." Su Yiyen didn't argue and accepted it all. "Thank you. I want a reward." "What?" Hua Chenhuan didn't directly answer her question. He smiled and asked again, "Do you like this island?" "I like it. I gave you such a beautiful island that you like so much. Can't I ask for a reward?" Su Yiyen raised her eyebrows and was a little curious. "What reward do you want?" "Lower your head." Su Yiyen looked at him doubtfully, but still lowered her head and moved closer to him. "You." Before she finished speaking, Hua Chenhuan had turned his head and kissed her on the cheek. Su Yiyen was startled. Just as she was about to denounce him, she met a certain someone's deep eyes that were mixed with a little bit of light. In his previous life, Hua Chenhuan's deep and sharp eyes were like a black hole in the universe, cold and dangerous. At this moment, Su Yiyen felt as if many bright stars had suddenly appeared in the universe, illuminating the original darkness and making him warm and soft. He was no longer like before, with spikes all over his body and repelling people thousands of miles away. "Scared silly?" "I didn't." Su Yiyen seemed to have woken up from a dream. She snorted coldly and said, "I just remembered that before I came out, my parents and brother repeatedly told me not to do anything more intimate than holding hands with you. If they find out what you're doing now, my father and brother will definitely not let you off easily." Hua Chenhuan was not frightened by Su Yiyen's words at all. She chuckled and said, "What about you?" "I what?" "I did this to you. What are you going to do to me?" "I'll let it go this time, but there won't be a next time. Otherwise, I'll throw you off the island to feed the sharks." Hua Chenhuan looked at her faintly and said with a faint smile, "Can you bear to do that?" Su Yiyen flew into a rage out of humiliation. "See if I can bear to do that." As the two bickered, they had slowly walked to the edge of the manor. Just by looking in from the outside, one could see that this was a private manor that occupied a large area. The main building could not be seen under the curtain of the night, but at least as far as the eye could see, there was no end in sight. Chapter 181. Do you like it? Su Yiyen froze for a moment, thinking that he was asking if she liked the manor. "I like it, this manor is very beautiful." Hua Chenhuan did not comment, and asked again, "Do you like the flowers here?" Su Yiyen blinked, only then did she understand that Hua Chenhuan had just asked about the flowers in the courtyard. "I like it. But, how do you know that I like blue roses?" Hua Chenhuan did not give a direct answer. Instead, he gave an ambiguous answer. "If you want to know, you can find out. As long as you have the heart and are willing to understand, there is nothing in this world that can be hidden. If a person does not know what kind of person he likes, what kind of habits she has, what kind of preferences she has, then it can only mean that he is not attentive enough to you, and does not love you enough. The corners of Su Yan's lips curled up slightly as she pushed Wu Chenhuan into the manor. Perhaps knowing that someone would come tonight, the manor's gate was wide open, welcoming them in. Su Yan looked around, but did not see anyone for a long time. As if seeing her doubts, Wu Chenhuan kindly reminded her, "Tonight, there is no one else here except for me and you. Just the two of us?" "Yes, you don't like to be alone with me?" "No, just the two of us, this is good." Su Yan pushed Wu Chenhuan to the front of the flowers, and asked with a smile, "You know that I like blue roses, then do you know why I like blue roses?" "Why?" "Blue is the color of the sky and the sea, clean and beautiful. And the flower language of blue roses just happens to be miracles and impossible things. I like miracles, they can always bring me different surprises, just like you." She thought that she would miss you, but unexpectedly returned to the past. In her previous life, this was something impossible to achieve, a miracle that she had never expected. "To me, you are a miracle." Wu Chenhuan's expression slightly moved, and reached out to hold Su Yan's hand. "You are also my miracle." Su Yan pursed her lips, and just as she was about to say something, she suddenly heard a burst of fireworks outside the manor. Someone is setting off fireworks? Su Yan's attention was instantly attracted. Colorful fireworks flew up from both sides of the manor, sometimes like a waterfall pouring down, sometimes like snowflakes dancing in the sky. Su Yan at first thought that the fireworks were just deliberately set by the people near the manor, until the fireworks exploded in the sky, one after another. "Did you prepare these fireworks?" Su Yan's voice just fell. Suddenly, a familiar figure flew out of the manor's gate. It was a fat dog wearing a pink lace dress with a large pink bow on its head. As it ran, the flesh all over its body was trembling. The blue rose in its mouth was also being blown by the wind and was being ravaged. "Dun dun." Su Yan was about to squat down to greet her little dog, but saw it suddenly turn around and run to her side. Wu Chenhuan carefully took the rose in Dundun's mouth, and patted its little head as a reward. Then she leaned over to look at Su Yan, and smiled, "Yan Yan." "Yes." Su Yan's heart suddenly jumped, and she inexplicably felt a little nervous. Chapter 182. Su Yan's mind went blank for a moment. She stared blankly at the blue rose in front of her. After a while, she finally found her voice. "You want me to agree with just a blue rose? That's too perfunctory, isn't it?" As soon as the words came out of her mouth, she regretted it. It wasn't just a blue rose, but a courtyard full of roses, a manor, and an island. But even if it was just a rose, she was still willing. What was there to be stubborn about? "Then what if I add this?" Wu Chenhuan took out a small box that he had prepared earlier and handed it to Su Yan. When Su Yan saw the thing inside, her face changed. Inside the delicate little box was a beautiful platinum diamond ring. This diamond ring was in the shape of a rotating belt. Finally, one on the left and one on the right encircled the uppermost diamond. In addition, if one looked carefully, they would find that the belt of the ring had an incomparably delicate engraving in the shape of an olive branch. At a glance, it looked like two olive branches encircling the diamond. It was a little strange but very beautiful. However, what really surprised Su Yan wasn't the design of the diamond ring, but that she had seen this diamond ring in her previous life. During the days when she was by Wu Chenhuan's side as a soul, she had seen several times when Wu Chenhuan was alone at night, staring at this diamond ring thoughtfully. Could it be that in his previous life, he had also fantasized about being together with her? Also, he liked her so much. How could he not have thought about it? But since he had thought about it, why didn't he put it into action? If, Su Yan's heart flashed with countless guesses, but Wu Chenhuan didn't know anything about it. Seeing that she was silent, the little heart that had long been accustomed to storms and waves actually became nervous. "Yan Yan?" Su Yan suddenly woke up. Only then did she remember that she was at the scene of a marriage proposal. Someone was holding this familiar ring and proposing to her. Since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly agree to your request. Although she said that, Su Yiyen's eyes were brimming with joy, making it obvious that she was in a good mood at the moment. Hua Chenhuan's heart calmed down, but she didn't expose her. She picked up the ring and put it on her finger carefully. After putting it on, Su Yiyen stared at the ring and turned it over several times. It was neither too tight nor too loose. It wouldn't hurt, and it wouldn't slip out easily. How did you know the size of my finger? Yes, said Wang Yao. Measured? How did you measure it? Hua Chenhuan reached out and took the initiative to hold her hand. Then, he opened his hand and intertwined his fingers with hers. This is the amount. Su Yiyen. Like hell I'll believe you. How can you measure it like this? However, she also knew that there wasn't much point in dwelling on this. Soon, she changed the topic that she was more curious about. The pattern of this ring is a bit special. Does it have any special meaning? Hua Chenhuan held her hand and stroked the texture of the ring. At that time, I asked for eternity, and he gave me a design in return. The body of the ring is a miniature version of the Mobius ring, which symbolizes eternity. The olive branch on the top seems to symbolize peace, but in fact, it represents the endless growth of plants, forever and ever. Su Yiyen's eyes became slightly hot when she heard these words. Endless growth, forever and ever. What a moving 8 words. Chapter 183. Who's this guy you're talking about? His name is Hermes. He's a friend of mine and a famous jewelry designer. Su Yiyen was stunned when he heard the name. The internationally famous jewelry designer, Hermes James? Yes. You're friends with him? The internationally renowned jewelry tycoon was in his 40s or 50s. He was a completely different age group from Hua Chenhuan. Most importantly, in 2 years, this tycoon, who once controlled the lifeline of the jewelry world, would pass away due to illness. Not long after his death, because he did not leave behind any descendants, the younger generation of the family's collateral branch fought over the inheritance he left behind. A terrible gunfight even broke out. In the end, most of the people died, and the rest ended up in prison. The jewelry tycoon collapsed and disappeared in the long river of history. It became a topic of conversation for many people. Su Yiyen had an impression of this name because he had seen the relevant news report at the time. He had lamented the impermanence of the world. He did not expect these two to be friends. Then, in 2 years, we're friends despite the difference in age. Hua Chenhuan did not hide it. I met him by chance on a trip. We became friends because we hit it off. We've known each other for almost 10 years. Su Yiyen was shocked. So long. Yes. I mentioned this idea to him before, but I didn't let him put it into practice. I didn't expect him to have an idea in private long ago. He rushed to produce the finished product before I urged him. This was the main reason why the diamond ring could appear in front of them so quickly. When Hua Chenhuan asked Zhua Yanbai to contact Hermes, he was a little worried that there would not be enough time for him to finalize the draft and produce the finished product. He did not expect that the finished product would be delivered a few days after he mentioned it to him. There was also a letter that told him that the wedding ring was in the process of being produced. It would definitely be completed before their wedding, and there was no need to worry. Although Hua Chenhuan did not mention Hermes much, Su Yiyen could feel a sense of closeness. It was obvious that the two of them had a good relationship. After all, there were very few people in this world who could be considered friends by Hua Chenhuan. Why did you suddenly think of proposing? We're about to get married. That day, I promised your father that as long as it's someone else's, I won't take anything less. So you thought of proposing? The proposal is very important. I don't want to have any regrets. This regret was not only for Su Yiyen, but also for himself. Su Yiyen looked at the diamond ring on her finger. She had to admit that Hua Chenhuan was right. Even though she knew that they would get married soon, she still couldn't help but feel a little happy when such a surprise suddenly appeared. This was a little romance that he had planned completely on his own initiative. It was worth treasuring for her for the rest of her life and slowly savoring it in the future. The fireworks outside the courtyard were still going off. They had already transitioned from the previous roses to various characters and languages of yen yen, I love you. It was really simple and crude. But she liked it. After the two of them watched the fireworks, they walked around the manor twice. Su Yiyen realized that not only were the flowers that she liked planted in the manor, but the decoration and the overall layout were also the type that she liked. Chapter 184. Oh no. Su Yiyen's face changed greatly. Why is it so late? Hua Chenhuan reminded her at the right time. It was already past 8 when you woke up. Wouldn't it be 12 o'clock after eating and taking a stroll? Su Yiyen wanted to cry but had no tears. No, I have to go home. My parents will go crazy if they don't see me back so late. It's not safe to go out to sea so late. Su Yiyen suddenly froze. Indeed, it was very dangerous to go out to sea in the dark. Then I'll call my parents and inform them. Where's my cell phone? Su Yiyen rummaged through her clothes for a long time and finally found her cell phone in her jacket pocket. She opened it. No. Yes. No. Why is there no signal here? Hua Chenhuan's face didn't change. The terrain is remote, and we haven't had time to install a signal receiver. Assistant Hua, who had installed a shielding device early in the morning and blocked all the signals on the island, was very famous. Then what should we do? It's okay. Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyen's hand and comforted her. Before we came, I asked Xiaoyang to report your whereabouts to your parents. Your parents should know that you're here now and that you're going to stay here tonight. They won't worry. Su Yiyen wasn't comforted at all. Instead, she looked at Hua Chenhuan sadly. No, you asked Xiaoyang to tell them. They may be more worried now. Hua Chenhuan laughed. What are they worried about? That I'll eat you? Su Yiyen curled her lips. That's not impossible. You've already proposed. You should ask for some reward, right? That's because they don't know my physical condition. Su Yiyen was slightly stunned. Just when she was about to comfort him, she heard him say, but it's not impossible to ask for other rewards. It's my negligence. Thank you for reminding me. Su Yiyen. Did she dig a hole and bury herself in it? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyen's slightly sluggish expression and knew that she couldn't tease her too much. She comforted her. It's just one night. It's okay. It's late. Let's go upstairs and check out the rooms. I'll send you back tomorrow morning. Su Yiyen sighed and compromised. That's the only way. The two of them and the dog went upstairs. At first, Su Yiyen was a little worried that Hua Chenhuan would ask to sleep in the same room as her. However, Hua Chenhuan took her directly to the master bedroom and took Dun Dun to the guest room. Su Yiyen breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she was inexplicably a little disappointed. After a day of torment, Su Yiyen thought that she would fall asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She didn't know if it was because she had slept before or because too many unexpected things had happened that night. She lay on the bed for more than an hour, but she didn't feel sleepy at all. The weather on the island changed quickly. They were still watching the stars on the beach in the first half of the night. In the second half of the night, there was a sudden gust of wind, lightning, thunder, and rain. Su Yiyen couldn't sleep anymore. She looked at the threatening curtains by the window. After hesitating for a moment, she got up and closed the window. But it couldn't block out the sound of the wind, lightning, and rain outside the window. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door of her room. Su Yiyen froze slightly. Hua Chenhuan had said that there were only the two of them in the manor tonight. Was it Hua Chenhuan who was knocking on the door, or? Su Yiyen took a deep breath and walked over slowly. Chapter 185. Su Yiyen was shocked. She took a closer look and realized that it was Dun Dun. When she looked up again, she saw Hua Chenhuan's familiar figure. Unlike before he left, Hua Chenhuan was wearing light blue cotton pajamas, which made him look more casual and approachable. She looked prettier. Hua Chenhuan saw that she was staring at her and took the initiative to break the silence. It's raining. Su Yiyen instantly sobered up. She smiled awkwardly and said, yes. Yes. There's thunder. Yes. Dun Dun seems to be a little afraid of thunder. He keeps coming over. Dun Dun is afraid of thunder? Su Yiyen blinked doubtfully and looked down at the little guy at her feet. Dun Dun. If he's afraid, then so be it. I'm used to being the scapegoat. Woof. Dun Dun barked sadly. Then, it threw itself on Su Yiyen's cotton slippers and shivered. If Gu Xiaoyang and the others were here, they would definitely sigh and say, this dog has become a demon. Su Yiyen felt sorry for Dun Dun. She bent over and picked up the little guy. Then let him sleep in my room. After Su Yiyen finished speaking, she found that Hua Chenhuan was still at the door. She asked doubtfully, is there anything else? I'm afraid of thunder too. Su Yiyen. What are you afraid of? During the time when I was with you, I encountered many thunderstorms, but I didn't see you being afraid. How old are you? Are you still afraid of thunder? It has nothing to do with age. Su Yiyen's mouth twitched. She thought, it has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how thick-skinned you are. At this time, Hua Chenhuan was obviously going to be thick-skinned to the end. There's no one else in this house except you and me. She was implying that she was afraid of thunder, so she could only rely on her. Then, let Dun Dun accompany you. Dun Dun, who had been acting for a long time and was about to be stuffed back in again. It's scared, and I'm scared. If we stick together, we'll be even more scared. Are you still playing 1 + 1 = 2 at this time? Su Yiyen couldn't help but want to roll her eyes. She suddenly wanted to tell the person in front of her that she was actually afraid of thunder. However, in the current situation, it was clearly not feasible. Then what do you suggest we do? Hua Chenhuan's eyes flashed with a trace of a triumphant smile. You already let Dun Dun stay in your room. You shouldn't mind having one more person, right? Su Yiyen. Who said I don't mind? Dun Dun is Dun Dun, you are you, how is it the same? That's not good, is it? I don't sleep well. As soon as he said this, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but laugh. What are you thinking? I just want to borrow the floorboards in your room to sleep on the floor. Su Yiyen was stunned, and her face uncontrollably turned red. Oh my God, what did she just say? Cough, I'm not thinking of anything. You have a good room to sleep in, but you want to sleep on the floor in my room? In this kind of weather, aren't you afraid of freezing to death? There's a heating system in the house. Su Yiyen choked. But there's no spare quilt. The spare quilt is in the bottom right corner of the wardrobe. There's a cover and a cushion. Su Yiyen. You're so well prepared. I suspect that you've been planning this for a long time, and it was premeditated. Even if you have all these things, it's still, before Su Yiyen could finish, Hua Chenhuan interrupted her. What are you afraid of? What? My biological sister has been kidnapped. How do you expect me to calm down? Where's my sister? And where's Hua Chenhuan? Tell him to get out here. Brother? Su Yiyen heard this voice and instantly woke up. Her body reacted faster than her brain. She jumped off the bed and ran to open the door. At this time, Su Yuxuan and the others just happened to walk over to her side. Unexpectedly seeing the door open, they were all shocked. Su Yuxuan was the first to react. Just as he was about to show a surprised expression, he saw someone behind his sister. The expression on his face suddenly froze. Then, it became gloomy, angry, and as dark as the bottom of a pot. Chapter 187. The earth-shattering roar almost collapsed the roof of the manor. It was conceivable that Su Yuxuan was on the verge of exploding. After being yelled at, Su Yiyan finally realized the seriousness of the matter. She turned her head stiffly and saw Hua Chenhuan, who had also just woken up. Su Yiyan immediately gasped and hurriedly explained, "Brother, don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between us." Unfortunately, Su Yuxuan was so angry that he lost his mind. He said without thinking, "Then why are you sleeping in the same room?" Because it rained heavily and thundered last night. I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come over and accompany me. Moreover, he slept on the floor while I slept on the bed. Nothing happened between us." As soon as Su Yiyan said that, everyone present was stunned, especially Hua Chenhuan. However, he quickly realized that Su Yiyan was defending him. The corners of his lips curled up unconsciously. "Why is Big Brother here?" "Don't call me that." "Who's your brother?" Su Yuxuan was even angrier when he heard Hua Chenhuan call him that. He glared fiercely at Hua Chenhuan, stepped forward, grabbed his sister's hand, and dragged her out. "Brother, what are you doing?" Su Yiyan was unprepared. She staggered a few steps forward and almost fell. Hua Chenhuan's eyes darkened slightly. He gave Gu Xiaoyang and the others a look. They understood and quickly stepped forward to separate the two of them. "What else can I do? I'll take you out of here." As soon as Su Yuxuan finished speaking, he was held up by two people and forcibly separated from his sister. "What are you doing? Let go of me." "Brother." Su Yiyan was also a little surprised by their actions. Before she could do anything, her hand was suddenly held by the person beside her. The person placed her hand in the palm of his hand and carefully stroked and rubbed it. "You're hurting her." There was a hint of anger in Chen Shu's tone. Only then did Su Yiyan notice that her wrist had turned red from the tugging just now. Her skin was fair to begin with, so the redness was a little shocking. Upon seeing this, Su Yuxuan also realized that he had been impulsive just now. He looked regretful, not only because he had accidentally hurt his sister, but also because his impulsiveness had caused him to lose the initiative in front of Hua Chenhuan. Hua Chenhuan rubbed Su Yiyan's wrist for a while before finally dispersing the red marks on her wrist. Looking at how focused he was, those who didn't know would think that he was not holding a hand, but some unknown rare treasure. Su Yiyan's ears turned red. As soon as the other party loosened his grip, she quickly pulled her hand back. "My brother didn't do it on purpose. Tell them to let him go." In fact, Su Yiyan didn't need to say anything. Gu Xiaoyang and the others didn't dare to hold the future brother-in-law of their young master for too long. They had already loosened their grip a long time ago. The reason why they still maintained their original position was that Su Yuxuan was completely stunned by the two people's behavior of abusing single people as if there was no one else around. As soon as he came back to his senses, he broke free from their restraint. He snorted coldly and turned to leave. Upon seeing this, Su Yiyan hurriedly said, "I should go back. I'll come to see you next time if I have the chance." Hua Chenhuan thought that according to his future brother-in-law's reaction, the next time would not come so easily. With this thought, Hua Chenhuan suddenly leaned over to Su Yiyan and kissed her on the cheek before she could react. Su Yiyan blinked in surprise and blankly. Touching the place where she was kissed, her first reaction was, Chapter 188. Su Yuxuan was angry, but he couldn't just leave his sister in the wolf's den. After walking for a while, he stopped and prepared to go back and fight with Hua Chenhuan and the guys around him. Fortunately, before he could take action, Su Yiyan followed him. Su Yuxuan was stunned for a moment, and his expression became better. "They didn't stop you?" "Why would they stop me?" "Brother, nothing happened between me and him last night." "Since nothing happened, why didn't you return last night?" Su Yiyen choked and said with a guilty conscience, because we stayed on this island for too long last night and forgot the time. When we remembered, it was already very late. It's not safe to go out to sea late at night. Although she said that, Su Yuxuan still saw the loophole in her words at a glance. He coldly snorted, then who brought you to this island? Him. And who brought you to this island to play and forget the time? It's also him. Su Yuxuan only asked these two questions, and directly closed the coffin. Forget the time? I think he did it on purpose. He deliberately brought you here, deliberately left you on the island so late, and deliberately went to your room. Although her brother was right, Su Yiyen still tried her best to salvage the situation. Brother, there was really thunder and rain last night. It was very loud, and I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come and accompany me. And you should have seen it just now. He slept on the floor, and I slept on the bed. The first two things are fine, but it can't be that the thunder and lightning, the storm and the storm were all arranged by him, right? This time, it was Su Yuxuan's turn to choke. Just as his sister said, no matter how powerful Hu Chenhuan was, he didn't have the ability to call the wind and summon the rain, nor the ability to control lightning. So, all of this was just a coincidence. Even the heavens were on his side. Su Yuxuan's face darkened just as this thought popped up in his head. Aya, how infuriating. Su Yiyen saw her brother's face change several times, becoming darker and darker. She knew something was wrong and quickly changed the topic. Brother, why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the office at this time? The company is not as important as you. Su Yuxuan's face darkened as she snorted. You didn't come home last night, and your phone couldn't be reached. Mom and Dad were so worried that they almost called the police. Su Yiyen looked embarrassed. Didn't anyone tell you that I'm not going back? It would have been better if Su Yiyen hadn't mentioned this. Now that she mentioned it, Su Yuxuan's face darkened even more. Of course there is. It's because he came to our house and told us that you wouldn't be coming back tonight and would be staying at his young master's place that Mom and Dad were even more nervous. You're not even married yet, and you're already staying at his house. If this gets out, who knows what people will say about you? When they couldn't get through to Su Yiyen's phone, they were still worried that something might have happened to her. Now that they knew she was fine, they were relieved, but at the same time, they had a new worry. Su Yiyen had already been subjected to a lot of criticism because of the incident between the Su family and the family Hua. If people found out about today's incident, who knew what kind of infuriating things they would say? Su Yiyen looked embarrassed. She smiled and said, "This place is so secluded. No one would know about it, right? Moreover, we're engaged. It's normal for us to live together and try to get married." Chapter 189. Su Yiyen's expression stiffened, and she said awkwardly, "I was just giving an example." Su Yuxuan breathed a sigh of relief, but he still felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. He complained in a low voice, "You also know that this place is remote. How dare you foolishly follow him to such a remote place? Aren't you afraid that he will eat you up?" Su Yiyen said in her heart, "Didn't I fall asleep and wake up here? How could I have known that this place was so remote?" However, she couldn't say this out loud. If she really said it, she had no doubt that her elder brother would thoroughly beat Hu Chenhuan into a scheming boy and rush back to fight with him. "I'm fine, aren't I? How dare he? Let's see if Dad and I will break his legs." Su Yiyen. "You really don't need to do that." Su Yuxuan seemed to have realized this after shouting. His face darkened, and he became more and more depressed. Anyway, that's what happened. After that guy went to our house to report, Dad and Mom didn't sleep the whole night. I didn't sleep either. I asked them to send me here at dawn. What Su Yuxuan didn't say was that when he received the news last night, his first reaction was to go out to sea to look for her, but he was rejected by Gu Xiaoyang and the others for the same reason. With a belly full of anger, he waited until dawn and immediately urged Gu Xiaoyang and the others to bring him over. Along the way, he stabbed the bastard who abducted his baby sister countless times in his heart. It's my fault. I promise I won't make such a serious mistake again. Su Yuxuan snorted coldly, even if you want to, I'm afraid you won't be able to do it again. Su Yiyan understood in her heart that when she went back this time, she was afraid that she would be forced to be watched by her parents until she got married. The two of them took the boat back to the opposite shore. Su Yiyan's mobile phone finally had a signal, so she called home immediately. Her mother answered the phone. Surprisingly, she did not reprimand Su Yiyan for not coming home last night. She only said, "Don't do this next time." Then, she let it go. Compared to Su Yuxuan's recent ruckus, this place was terrifyingly calm. Su Yiyan once suspected that this was the calm before the storm. However, what Su Yiyan didn't know was that before she called back, Su Yuxuan had already reported everything that she had seen and heard on the island. Qing Shiqin and the others already knew that nothing out of the ordinary had happened between the two of them, which was why they were so calm. Otherwise, Su Yuxuan would not be the only one with murderous intent. When Su Yiyan returned home, Qing Shiqin and the others had just gone out to pick up her uncle. There was no one at home, which made her greatly relieved. However, since her uncle was here, it was time to nourish him and her aunt. She wanted them to work hard and try to make a baby. Cough, cough. Moreover, as the saying went, if you eat from others, you have to be soft-hearted. She cooked a good meal to make the elders happy. They couldn't blame her for yesterday's incident, right? Su Yiyan went into the kitchen with a little thought. Just as she connected to the internet, she saw a few notifications. Normally, she wouldn't look at this kind of entertainment news. Just as she was about to open the news, she saw a photo at the top. It was a publicity photo of a girl group, and a familiar figure was in the center of the publicity photo. Her smile was gentle and bright. Those who didn't know would think that she was very popular now and had a promising future. Chapter 190. Xia Junxing had only mentioned it yesterday when he was reporting to her about the company's work. He said that when Jinping had dug her own grave by scamming others on the internet to gain popularity. She did not expect to meet a tough opponent and fail on the spot, causing a negative impact. She was then persuaded to leave the show by the program team. It had only been a day since she was invited back. Obviously, she had used some unknown connections. Ning Chirue could no longer be her help, and she probably had not had time to hook up with her other spare tires. After thinking about it, it seemed that only Hua Xiaofeng could help her return to the stage at this time. Yes, last night, the female lead sneaked into the family Hua in disguise to visit the male lead who was still in bed. The two of them reconciled after talking. Early this morning, the male lead contacted a senior member of the program team and sent the female lead back. Su Yiyan smiled coldly. She is indeed the child of the world with her own protagonist aura. Not to mention that the family Hua is strictly guarded, and Hua Qihan's birthday banquet was so big before. Most people should already know what she looks like. No matter how much she disguises herself, how can she change her face? It's so easy to let her in. It's like a game. The world's consciousness has always given preferential treatment to the protagonists. What the host needs to do is to break this preferential treatment. This could be seen from the fact that those outstanding big shots would either lose their intelligence or inexplicably rapidly weaken or even die when they met the two protagonists. Does the host want to replace her? Why should I replace her? She can stay if she wants. There are so many talented and good-looking people up there. If she has some ability, then so be it. If she doesn't have the ability and still insists on staying, she will only bring disgrace to herself. There was only one way to conquer others, and that was to work hard to make yourself better than anyone else. Opportunism was never a long-term solution. Even if you got some benefits for a while, there would be a day when you would suffer a backlash. Su Yiyan's sudden broadcast without warning could be said to be a pleasant surprise for those who were surfing the internet. Look at what I saw. Ha ha ha, while no one is around, I'm hugging the host and doing a 100-meter sprint. Upstairs, put her down. Where is there no one? I'm watching the streamers live stream 24/7. If anyone wants to hug, it should be me. A group of people were arguing on the screen, fighting to take Su Yiyan away. In the end, it was the father of the number one on the leaderboard who stepped in. He gave her a few luxurious gifts and even replied in bold font on the screen. Mine. The noise on the screen stopped abruptly, and then the discussion became even more lively. Ah, this is a familiar scene. I knew it. The number one on the leaderboard in the previous live stream must have been hacked. Haha, that's right. The daddy who ranked first in the last live stream had a sudden change in style. Now that I think about it, I still can't accept it. Just as a bunch of similar comments were sent out, everyone saw two words floating across the top of the screen. Love you, the crowd? F***CK, did your account get hacked again? Wasn't he fine just now? Why did he change again? Is he suffering from a split personality? Boss, blink if you're kidnapped. This is the internet. How do you expect her to blink at you? Be good, baby. Don't be naughty. Return the phone to your mother. Su Yiyan was a little touched when she saw the words, love you. However, after seeing these funny comments, this touch was replaced by schadenfreude. She secretly wondered how a certain someone who had become a mother would feel at this moment. Chapter 191. A certain someone who had just become a mother didn't feel anything. No one could make him take off the vest that he had put on with all his might. After a while, Su Yiyan was still protective. She coughed softly and said, there are a little more dishes to cook today, so I entered the live broadcast room in advance. Thank you to the little cutie who has been squatting in the live broadcast room to support me. Next, let's start with the custom-made private medicinal cuisine for the lucky viewer who drew the last live broadcast, showu liver slices. The main herbs used are showu, huangjing. Before Su Yiyan finished speaking, the screen was filled with complaints. Host, the Research Institute's announcement is talking about you, right? When will these medicinal herbs be officially sold? We've already prepared the money, but we can't even find a place to buy them. How can this be justified? Yes, we're still in a hurry to save lives. Please give us a specific time. This group of people had probably gone to bother the administrator of the Research Institute before, but they couldn't get anything out of him, so they could only come to Su Yiyan to try their luck. Su Yiyan frowned slightly and pondered for a moment before saying, due to the fact that these things are relatively rare, and the Research Institute doesn't have many finished products, a large part of them may be kept as seeds for priority cultivation. It will take some time for them to be sold publicly. Considering that some people's illnesses really can't be delayed, how about this? For some seriously ill patients whose lives are at stake, you can try to send a medical record to the Research Institute. After the Research Institute verifies that there are indeed medicinal herbs in the institute that can treat the disease, they will provide them with priority. As for how to verify and what standards to use for verification, the Research Institute had a ruler to measure. It wasn't something that Su Yiyan should worry about. However, I'll make it clear in advance that the effects of medicinal herbs on diseases vary from person to person. It may not be suitable for everyone. Please be mentally prepared for this. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, the audience in the live broadcast room boiled over again. Due to the support of the Research Institute, the number of viewers in her live broadcast room had already exceeded 1 million and was rapidly approaching 2 million. Her favorability was also constantly increasing. At this rate, she estimated that she would be able to smoothly advance to level 3 by the end of this live broadcast. Woof. I'm going to send the medical record to the Research Institute now. My grandfather's illness can't be delayed any longer. Sure enough, the key lies with the host. After all, the host is the main owner of the medicinal herbs. Speaking of which, my period is coming soon. Can I submit a medical record if I have severe menstrual cramps? I also want to ask, is there any medicine for toothache? Can you give me a medical record as well? The two above, listen carefully. This is a critically ill patient whose life is at stake. Why are you adding to the chaos? I don't like what you're saying. Haven't you heard that toothache isn't an illness? Does it hurt like hell? In just a moment, the audience had already started arguing about what a life-threatening patient was. Su Yiyen did not stop them. He concentrated on washing the ingredients that he needed. He first added the fleeceflower root and sealwort into the pot and boiled them for about 10 minutes. Then, he added the cut carrots, pig liver, and abalone mushrooms. Tuber fleeceflower has the effect of tonifying liver and kidney, replenishing blood essence, black beard and hair, and strengthening muscles and bones. Sealwort also has a certain effect on the deficiency of spleen and stomach, and early white beard and hair. When the audience heard this, their hearts skipped a beat. Black beard and hair. Was it what they thought it was? Paired with pig liver that replenishes blood, it has the effect of nourishing yin and blood, as well as preventing hair loss. Chapter 192. F***CK, can this stuff really cure hair loss? Baldies, please save us. My long wait in this live broadcast room was not in vain. It's finally our turn. I beg the goddess of luck to bless me and let me draw this pot of soup. Did the person above forget that this is the medicinal cuisine exclusive to the lucky audience from the last live broadcast? Sob, 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 I'm jealous. So, can I take it that the lucky audience from the last live broadcast was bald? Blind student, you've discovered something. What's wrong with being bald? Does being bald have no human rights? If not for the sake of living, who would stay up late and go bald at such a young age? It's too difficult to be bald. QAQ, she watched as a group of bitter baldies clamored on the bullet screen, asking Su Yiyen if she could show them some pity. Even if she couldn't popularize the medicinal herbs as soon as possible, she could at least draw a few more lucky audience members to give them some hope. Su Yiyen frowned slightly. She couldn't help but have some thoughts in her mind. She did have some of these medicinal herbs in her hands. However, as the number of viewers in her live broadcast room increased, her favorability rapidly increased. Not only did the area of her farm expand, but the soil had also been upgraded to a certain extent. As a result, the medicinal herbs she produced were much more effective than the ones she used before, not to mention the ones cultivated by the Research Institute. She was now reducing the amount of these ingredients she added into the medicinal cuisine. In order to be in line with the Research Institute, it was impossible to sell them separately. However, if she only sold the finished medicinal cuisine, Su Yiyen's mind was spinning 1,000 times, but her hands didn't stop moving. After making the fleece root lung slice, she stewed 2 soups as quickly as possible: lotus seed Soralia pork loin soup and Angelica ginger lamb soup. Su Yiyen didn't introduce the 2 soups much when she made them. This made the audience, who had long been used to Su Yiyen explaining while making, feel very awkward. They spontaneously asked about the effects of the 2 soups, as well as the effects of some unknown medicinal herbs that they had seen used in them. Su Yiyen saw that she couldn't escape, so she blushed and said, "This is lotus seed Soralia pork loin soup. Lotus seed has appeared before, and I've also introduced it before. Soralia has the effect of anti-aging and nourishing the nests. When paired with walnuts that nourish the kidneys, the 3 ingredients together have the effect of improving the balance of estrogen and enhancing, sexual desire." As soon as the introduction came out, the bullet screen was dead silent for a few seconds. Then, it exploded like a blowout. F***CK, isn't that the same effect as sexy streamer, driving online? I'm just watching a gourmet live stream. If not, I'll add a live stream of medical science and Chinese herbal medicine. Why did I suddenly turn a corner and start driving? Host, have you been infected by the host's father? Ha 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 ha, look at how nervous the streamer is. It looks like this is your first time driving. Come on, let's have fun. Driver, open the door. This is not the bus to the kindergarten. I want to get off. The doors are welded shut. No one is allowed to get out of the car. Let us run to the finish line together. Sob, 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 the few people in front, be careful. If this goes too far, our live stream room will be blocked. Shrug hand. JPG, Su Yiyen had already expected these guys to react this way, so she planned to be vague in the beginning. She didn't expect that she still couldn't escape. Chapter 193. Unfortunately, these words had no effect on the audience, who were already laughing like crazy. Yes, yes, yes. It's not that exaggerated. We understand, we understand. See through but don't say it out loud. It's not suitable to discuss this topic in public. Skip, skip, look at this car. It's big and yellow, and it drives very fast. Not bad, not bad, Su Yiyen was speechless. It seemed like they didn't listen at all. Su Yiyen sighed helplessly when she realized that she couldn't get through to them. She didn't continue to argue and started talking about the second soup. Things like moral integrity were really something that one would get used to over time. When she started talking about the first soup, Su Yiyen was at a loss. Now that she was talking about the second soup, she felt like she had nothing left to lose. Angelica ginger mutton soup. Angelica can nourish the blood and regulate the essence. Mutton can nourish the kidneys. Paired with ginger to dispel the cold, it has a great effect on kidney yang deficiency. Kidney yang deficiency? I think I know something. I think so too, me too. A lot of meaningful comments floated through the bullet screen. Finally, an audience member pointed it out. Host, are you planning to make a baby with your husband? Su Yiyen's face turned completely red when she saw the bullet screen. This batch of audience members was really bad. Every one of them had such a wide range of thoughts. Hua Chenhuan, who was watching the live broadcast, saw this and her face darkened. Even Zui Yanbai, who was accompanying her today, was implicated. Fortunately, he quickly calmed down and said in a low voice, "As far as I know, Miss Su's uncle should be arriving at the Su family's house today." Hua Chenhuan raised her eyebrows and motioned for him to continue. Miss Su's uncle and aunt have been married for nearly 20 years, but they haven't been able to conceive a child. I saw that Miss Su's previous live broadcasts were full of dishes that nourished women's bodies and increased the chances of pregnancy. Judging from all these two soups are probably prepared for her uncle and aunt. After listening to his explanation, Hua Chenhuan's expression finally improved a little. Zui Yanbai also breathed a sigh of relief. He was glad that he had been paying attention to the movements of the Su family and saved his worthless life at the critical moment. Coincidentally, Su Yiyen could not help coughing lightly and explained awkwardly, "It's not me, it's the elders in my family." So it's an elder. I'm a little disappointed. The streamer had said before that she was already married. Was she really not going to try and make a baby? I can't be the host's husband, but I can be the host's child. Beast, what are you trying to do to the streamer's child? Why are you so agitated? I just want to say that I can be the host's in-law. What are you thinking? Nose picking, is the person who asked the streamer to make a baby stupid? If the streamer is pregnant, it means that she has to take care of the fetus. Can she still broadcast so frequently while taking care of the fetus? Be clear about the main points. Don't lose sight of the big picture for the small. *CK, I didn't think of that. Su Yiyen. Hey, that's enough. You guys were just making babies before, and now you're starting to nurture a fetus? Do you have to be so imaginative? As the person involved, I can't keep up. Fortunately, the last viewer's words woke everyone up. The army of people who wanted to have babies was quickly defeated by the shocking idea of, the streamer might not broadcast live if she's pregnant. They all closed their mouths and, as Su Yiyen wished, began to complain about Su Yiyen's elders. Chapter 194. Su Yiyen looked at the screen full of viewers who wanted to be her relatives. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, but she did not say anything. This was the longest live broadcast Su Yiyen had ever done. It took about 3 hours before Su Yiyen finally finished cooking all the dishes. She packed the dishes that she had gotten from Ning Chirue and Hua Chenhuan and sent them out. She almost collapsed. The thoughts in her heart were magnified countless times at this moment. She could not go on like this. She had to shoulder this burden before she died from overwork. Before that, she had to find an ally first. The first person that Su Yiyen targeted was her biological uncle who had come from the same place. As the saying goes, a nephew resembles his uncle. From Su Yuxuan, one could tell what kind of person Su Yiyen's uncle was. It was not that the two looked alike, but that their temperaments were similar. They were the kind of people who looked gentle and refined on the surface but were actually evil. Moreover, they were very protective of their family members. No matter how awe-inspiring they were outside, at home, they were gentle and warm men who put their family members first. Like Qin Shueru, Qing Juanhao, who had been married for many years without children, had long regarded his sister's children as his own. From the moment he saw Qing Xiuqin and the others, he either asked his wife or asked why the 2 children did not come with them. Qing Xiuqin and the others interrupted and told him frankly at first, but thinking that he was tired from the journey, they only replied vaguely, "They have something to do." Qing Juanhao was suspicious, but he did not ask much. He followed the others back to the Su family's house and smelled a special fragrance. "What's this smell? It smells so good." Qing Xiuqin and the others' eyes lit up slightly. They smiled faintly and said, "It should be Yan Yan cooking." Cooking? During this time, Qing Juanhao learned from his wife that his precious niece had recently learned to cook, and the food she cooked tasted good. His wife, who originally had no appetite and was rapidly losing weight, gained a few kilograms of weight. Her complexion was also much better than before. However, Qing Juanhao couldn't help but feel a little dazed when he smelled it personally. Coincidentally, Su Yiyen had finished cleaning up the mess and came out of the kitchen. "Uncle?" Su Yiyen quickly ran over and gave him a hug. "You must be tired from the journey. I made some dishes to welcome Uncle. If there's nothing else, let's eat first." Su Yuxuan was carrying 2 plates of food in front of Su Yiyen. Her eyes lit up when she saw them. Only the heavens knew how torturous it was for him to stay outside for the past few hours without being able to eat. "Since you're all back, let's eat." As soon as Qing Xiuqin and the others heard that it was time to eat, they immediately left Qing Juanhao, the main character of the welcome party, and gathered around the table like little chicks waiting to be fed. Qing Juanhao? Qing Juanhao, who was a little unaccustomed to their style, was pulled over by his brother-in-law in the end. However, he soon understood why they were acting so abnormally. One after another, fragrant dishes came out of the kitchen like flowing water. Even Qing Juanhao couldn't help but swallow his saliva, let alone Qing Xiuqin and the others who had already eaten other delicacies. Their eyes were green with envy. After the dishes, there was soup. There were too many things to cook today. In order to save time, Su Yiyen directly made a large stew pot that could stew several small pots at once. She stewed a pot of soup for everyone in the family. Chapter 195. This one is for Auntie, and this one is for Uncle. Su Yiyen brought out the soup and distributed it to everyone. The others were used to it, and they just stared at the soup in front of them. It was Qing Juanhao's first time seeing such a scene. He looked at the soup in front of him and then at his wife's soup in confusion. Why is the soup different? This is a tonic soup with medicinal herbs. Men and women have different tonics, so the soup is naturally different. Qing Juanhao did not know much about this, so he asked suspiciously, "There's such a thing?" "Of course. Why would I lie to you, Uncle?" Qing Juanhao nodded and did not say anything else. On the other hand, old Master Qing glanced at their soup. He thought about how his granddaughter had been nourishing Qin Shueru's body all this time, so he could more or less guess the effect of these soups. He lowered his head slightly and hid the smile on his face. Qing Shuqin and the others could more or less guess this, so they smiled and tried to smooth things over. What does it matter if it's the same or not? The key is whether it tastes good or not. Speaking of which, it's all thanks to you today. Although Yan Yan usually cooks, it's not as sumptuous as today. We'll talk about other things later. Let's eat first. With such a big table of dishes, it won't taste good when it gets cold. After Qing Shuqin said that, they no longer paid attention to the 2 bowls of soup in front of Qing Juanhao and his wife. They focused on eating. Qing Juanhao did not eat much on the way here, so he was indeed a little hungry now. Coincidentally, the dish in front of him was his favorite fish, so he picked up a mouthful and put it in his mouth without thinking. In the next second, an indescribable excitement rushed from his tongue to his head, causing his entire face to turn red. This, Qin Shueru saw him like this and quickly poured a glass of cold water for him. Qing Juanhao drank half the glass of cold water before he finally calmed down. He slurred and said, "This fish. Why is this fish so spicy?" Qin Shueru had been married to him for so many years, but this was the first time she saw him in such a sorry state. She could not help but laugh. "There's chili in it." "Chili? Those red ones are much spicier than ginger." Su Yiyen pointed at the red chili peppers on the plate. "My brother and dad both like spicy food, so I made more spicy dishes. If uncle doesn't like the taste, there's also a plate of sweet and sour fish. It's lighter." When Qing Juanhao heard what she said, he didn't feel too conflicted. He first tried the sweet and sour fish, and the taste was indeed a little bland. Although it was delicious, he didn't like sweet things. After a moment of hesitation, he reached for the spicy steamed cushion carp. This time, at least he was mentally prepared. While it was spicy, he also felt that this fish tasted better than any fish he had eaten before. The first mouthful was a little stimulating, but the second mouthful started to get used to it. The third mouthful was enough, and by the fourth mouthful, he couldn't stop anymore. Su Yiyen raised his head while holding his bowl and saw his uncle frequently reaching for the spicy dishes on the table. His face was red from eating, but he still couldn't bear to put down his chopsticks. Great, another spicy person who was captivated by chili peppers. Fortunately, she would make some tea for them to drink every day to reduce internal heat. Otherwise, they would have been tortured to death by constipation and other side effects. Chapter 196. Qing Juanhao touched his bulging belly. For the first time in his life, he felt what it felt like to be too full. At the same time, he finally understood why his wife didn't want to stay at home after a few days. If he could eat such delicious food every day, he also wanted to stay here for a long time. Once people were full, it was not easy to think about those bad things. Su Yiyen suddenly made so many dishes today. On one hand, it was to welcome Qing Juanhao. On the other hand, she wanted to use this opportunity to please Qing Shuqin and others so that they wouldn't take last night's incident to heart. Qing Shuqin and others obviously knew this. For the sake of the table full of food, they didn't say anything to Su Yiyen. After the meal, they went to the yard to stroll around to digest. Qing Juanhao wanted to follow them, but Su Yiyen stopped him first. "Uncle, I have something to discuss with you." Qing Juanhao was stunned. Looking at his niece's bright smile, he was a little puzzled. "What is it?" "I want to open a restaurant." "Open a restaurant? What kind of restaurant?" "A medicinal cuisine restaurant." Qing Juanhao was confused. "What's a medicinal cuisine?" "It's a little troublesome to explain." "What do you think of the food just now?" "It's delicious. Yinyan's dishes are 100 times better than those in high-end restaurants outside." "Then if I take them out to sell," Qing Juanhao grasped the key point. "You want to open a restaurant?" "Yes. A medicinal cuisine restaurant could be considered a kind of restaurant." Qing Juanhao thought for a moment. Then why are you looking for me? I heard that uncle has a shop in the city that has been abandoned and unused. You want to buy that shop? Yes. Qing Juanhao said without thinking, okay. That shop was left behind by your grandmother. It has been abandoned all these years. If you want it, you can use it. I originally planned to give it to you as a dowry when you get married. Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She hurriedly said, no, no, no. I can't take such a shop for free. How about this? After I open the shop, uncle, you can be counted as a shareholder. When the shop is profitable, I'll give you a bonus. Qing Juanhao frowned and was a little unhappy. We're family. Why are you being so polite? Although we're family, even blood brothers debts clearly. Uncle, if you say so, I'll be embarrassed to ask you for help. Qing Juanhao heard her unspoken words and shook his head helplessly. Tell me, what else do you want me to help you with? I definitely can't open the shop alone. I'm short of manpower. After all, there's a layer of separation between us. I don't really trust the people outside. I was just wondering if Uncle could transfer a few trustworthy people from the Qing family to help out. You can rest assured about their salary, we will definitely not treat them unfairly. Qing Juanhao was almost amused by her. You haven't even opened the shop yet, but you're already acting like a boss? Uncle. Okay. I won't talk about it. It's not good to make mistakes when opening a restaurant. I'll go back after a while and get you some people. Is that okay? I know Uncle loves me the most. Then I'll put all these into the bonus and give it to you together. Didn't I say you don't have to be so polite? No, I must. In the end, Qing Juanhao couldn't win against Su Yiyan. He reluctantly agreed to Su Yiyan's proposal to get him to become a shareholder. Chapter 197. Grandpa, why are you here? Grandpa Qing snorted with a straight face. I've been here the whole time. You were just too engrossed in your conversation and didn't notice me. Su Yiyan smiled guiltily. You heard everything just now. Yes. What do you think of my idea? Can a medicinal cuisine restaurant be opened? Of course, it can be opened. The seeds of the research institute have only been planted not long ago. The only products that have matured are the ones you sent over. You're the only one who owns these things before they're fully circulated. The people at the research institute know the effects of these things very well. If you're willing to take them out to open a medicinal cuisine restaurant, they'll be more than happy to support your restaurant. Su Yian's eyes lit up slightly. If the research institute could really support her shop as her grandpa said, then her small shop would be a small shop with a strong backer. If anything happened in the future, she would have something to rely on. However, opening a restaurant isn't like sitting in an office. I'm afraid it'll be very tiring. Su Yiyan had already thought about this. She chuckled and said, it's fine. I've already asked my uncle for help. I'll find more people to help when the time comes. At the very least, I'll make a limited sale. I'll only make 100 or 200 servings a day. Isn't that what those high-end restaurants do? I know what I'm doing. I won't tire myself out. Humph, naive. Grandpa Qing knew his granddaughter very well. He was tough when he was tough, but he was also really soft when he was soft-hearted. She had already opened a restaurant. When people came to ask for help, she might really tire herself out. Su Yiyan smiled and didn't comment. Grandpa Qing knew that she didn't take his words to heart. He continued to persuade her. It's a blessing and a curse that these things are in your hands. You may face a lot of trouble opening this restaurant. Some of it you may not be able to solve. Su Yiyan's smile faded slightly. She nodded and said, yes, I know. Even so, you still want to open it? Yes. Since these things are in my hands, I have the responsibility to make the best use of them. Firstly, I can help some people by opening this shop. Secondly, I want to have a business that I've worked hard to build. A business that you worked hard for? Old Master Cheng's face darkened. Didn't your parents leave you some assets? Yes, not long ago, brother gave me an entertainment company to try out, but I don't think it's enough. Not enough? Old Master Cheng's expression was slightly better, but he was still a little serious. Do you think one company is too little? Then. Grandfather, you misunderstood me. Su Yiyen knew what he was thinking. He laughed and said, I just want to do something that I want to do and can do. I want to experience it and make myself better and better. Only then, can I be worthy of him. Him. At first, Old Master Shin was pleased with Su Yiyen's progress, but when he heard the last sentence, his face darkened. Su Yiyen's small face blushed slightly. Under the old man's intense gaze, she said embarrassedly, It's, seeing her like this, the old man immediately understood. Family was kid? Yes. Chapter 198. Su Yiyen looked at her grandfather, who rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was ready to hit someone at any time, as if his Achilles heel had been poked. She was stunned for a moment, then quickly went forward and hugged his arm, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. No one said anything to me. I think Shenhuan is too good, so. Grandpa Cheng's expression became slightly better, but he still curled his lips and said sourly, What's so good about him? Su Yiyen could tell that he was not convinced. She held back her laughter and said, He's good in all aspects. He's good-looking, gentle to me, loyal, and protective. Grandpa Cheng could not stand it anymore. How do you know he's loyal? How long have you known each other? Be careful not to be deceived. I believe him. He won't lie to me. A man who had silently protected her for a lifetime, sacrificed everything to avenge her after her death, and even left everything behind to die generously after his revenge. If he was not loyal, then there was no one else in the world who was loyal. Find a time to ask him out. I want to see how good this man who can make you praise him so much is. Su Yiyen smiled. Okay. Grandpa Cheng calmed down after a while, then suddenly asked, Why did you choose your uncle's shop? If I remember correctly, your parents have many shops under their name. If you ask, they should be very happy to give it to you. My parents do have many shops under their name, but those shops are not as good as my uncle's. Just because of this? Su Yiyen was slightly startled, then jokingly said, Grandpa, do you think my medicinal cuisine can make money? If a unique and useful thing can't make money, what else can? Since it can make money, it's better to keep the goodies within the family. It's something that can make money anyway. It's better to give it to your own family than to give it to outsiders, isn't it? Grandpa Cheng looked at the child who could be said to have been brought up by him, and suddenly realized that the little girl who liked to run around behind him had really grown up. Although the Cheng family was a scholarly family, they had a wide network of connections and had many good friends. Thus, they had offended many people as well. In recent years, some people who didn't like them saw that he was getting old and Qing Juanhao didn't have a successor. On the surface, they didn't dare to do anything, but behind their backs, they instigated some of the side branches of the family to have other thoughts, stirring up a foul atmosphere within the family. Although the Qing family had connections, sometimes, it wasn't enough to solve a problem just by relying on connections. When it came to money, a single copper coin could really drive a hero to his death. Old Master Qing thought that he and Qing Juanhao had kept all these troubles a secret, and Qing Shuqin and the others didn't know about it either. He didn't expect that a little girl like Su Yiyen would see through it. Qing Juanhao did not know the value of the Chinese herbs in Su Yiyen's hands. He thought that Su Yiyen just wanted to play with her on a whim. He would not lose much money anyway. As for the dividends that Su Yiyen mentioned, he was very pleased with her intentions, but he didn't take it to heart. Grandpa Cheng was different. He knew very well that if Su Yiyen could really open the shop and keep it going, then the dividends, would be beyond Xing Juanhao's imagination. Yan Yan, you're a good child. Your uncle and aunt didn't dote on you in vain all these years. Su Yiyan smiled. Uncle and aunt dote on me, but don't you? I know who's good to me in this world. Chapter 199. Delu was an old programmer in Xinyuan Technology's technology department. He was in his early 30s and had been in the technology department for 5 to 6 years. To an ordinary man, this age was considered the prime of his life. Delu asked himself if he felt the same way. However, the Mediterranean Sea above his head, which was as shiny as a braised egg, had made him age by more than 10 years. He did not look like a young, handsome uncle whose daughter had just entered kindergarten. Instead, he looked like an old, middle-aged wretched man. Because of this, Delu was often despised by his wife. He was even glad that he had married early. Otherwise, with his current appearance, he probably would not even be able to find a wife. 2 days ago, when it was close to getting off work, the company suddenly issued an urgent task. They were to go to the future lady boss's live stream to block some malicious ghostwriters. They were also to find out their IP addresses, chat records with their employers, and a series of chain information. Delu touched his little Mediterranean Sea egg. He was actually a little resistant to working overtime, but when he thought of the high overtime pay, he was a little tempted. His precious little princess had just started kindergarten. There were many places where she would need money in the future. He wanted to earn as much as he could now. After all, he had a wife and a daughter now. So what if he was bald? With this thought in mind, Delu went all out. Not only did he block a lot of accounts, but he also responded to his boss's call. He used the identification of his wife, his 7 aunts, and various relatives to register an account on the future lady boss's live stream. He followed the future lady boss's live stream and became one of her fans. Perhaps the heavens took pity on him for going bald at such a young age. When the lady boss said that she would pick a lucky viewer from the live stream and tailor a medicinal cuisine for him, Delu was watching the live stream with his wife's account. In the end, he did not pick his own account, but his wife's account was picked. Delu was stunned. He could not believe that an African mafioso like him, who had never won a lottery in his 30-odd years of life, would have a day when his luck would change. Ahem, his wife's account was also his account. He had won the lottery. There was nothing wrong with that. After the joy, Delu was a little conflicted and embarrassed. He sent a photo of his bald head and began to wait anxiously. During the second live stream, he followed the live stream so that he could see what kind of medicinal cuisine the other party had prepared for him. Delu, it's time. Aren't you going to take some nutrient fluids and find a meeting room to sleep? I still have a new project in the afternoon, and I'll probably have to work overtime again tonight. The colleague sitting next to Delu saw that it was time to get off work, but Delu was still sitting there motionless, so he kindly reminded him. Delu forced a smile. You go first. I have something to take care of. I'll be there soon. Then I'll leave first. After that person left, the other colleagues in the office also left one after another. In the end, only Delu was left. Right at this moment, a clear greeting came from outside. Excuse me, are you Mr. Liu? Your takeout is here. Delu's eyes lit up and he rushed out as fast as he could. It was a small bowl of sliced steamed mushroom liver. There wasn't much of it, so Delu cherished it very much. After drinking a few mouthfuls of soup, it was gone. When he was done, he even smacked his lips, as if he hadn't had enough. After savoring the aftertaste, he remembered to touch the top of his head. It was still smooth to the touch. He was a little disappointed, but also felt that it was within his expectations. Chapter 200. After adjusting his state of mind, Delu threw the matter to the back of his mind. He did not expect the change to happen the next day. What's wrong? Delu looked up and met his wife's confused and surprised gaze. Is your head my head? Delu was stunned. He remembered the bowl of soup he drank the day before and thought that he had grown hair overnight. He excitedly reached out to touch his head, but he could not feel anything. Delu was speechless. Delu's wife blinked. She also felt that it was unlikely. She coughed awkwardly and said, maybe it's just my imagination. I feel like the spot on your head has darkened a little. Delu's emotions were like a roller coaster. He did not dwell on the matter and went to the company dispiritedly. He thought that was the end of the matter. He did not expect that in the next few days, the bald spot on his head would change little by little. On the morning of the 5th day, a patch of hard hair grew out of his barren head. *CK, my hair is really growing. It's really growing. Delu looked at his changed head in the mirror. His eyes were hot and he almost rushed out to tell the world that he finally had hair. However, he did not need to tell the world. Anyone with eyes could see the change. Delu did not say it out loud, but deep down, he felt inferior. Usually, he would only dare to go to work with a wig. But today, he did not wear a wig. He openly revealed his bald head. No, it wasn't bald. There was actually a layer of black stubble on top of his head. The famous balding boss in the design department had hair. The news spread like wildfire. It quickly spread throughout the technical department and even gradually spread to the entire company. What were programmers most afraid of these days? Baldness. Especially baldness that resembled the Mediterranean Sea. All 4 sides remained, except for the bald spot in the middle. It looked like a smooth tea egg. It was even more embarrassing than being completely bald. It was fine that everyone was bald. They had agreed to bear the burden of baldness together, but he secretly grew hair himself. Unavoidably, Delu became the main focus of all the programmers in the technical department. Not long after he started work, he received countless inquiries. Ever since Big Lou joined the company, this was the first time he had enjoyed such treatment, so he didn't hide anything. He told her everything in detail about how he was selected in the future lady boss's live stream, how he drank a bowl of medicinal cuisine personally made by the future lady boss, and how his hair grew out a few days later. Everyone looked at each other when they heard this. Then, someone suddenly said, previously, Director, you seem to have said that he could help us ask for lady boss's medicinal cuisine as company benefits? As soon as this was said, the entire technical department was in an uproar. Therefore, that afternoon, when Yu Zian went to Zhua Yanbai to hand over his work to Qin Yuan, he was met with countless programmers who were eagerly eyeing him. President Yu, you said before that you could help us get the lady boss to treat our illness through the back door as an employee benefit. Is that still valid? Yu Zian froze for a moment, feeling a little awkward. At that time, he had just said it casually. Considering that his boss's identity hadn't been exposed yet, and the lady boss still didn't know that Onlooker was a business under his young master's name, this matter wouldn't be so easy to achieve. Chapter 201. At this time, Su Yiyen still didn't know that someone was in deep trouble because of her and was waiting for her to rescue him. Since she had already made up her mind to open a physical store, Su Yiyen didn't delay for too long. That day, she coaxed and pestered Qing Juanhao to sign a restaurant share agreement with her. She contacted a renovation team and started to officially renovate the long-abandoned store the next day. Su Yiyen's father and the others were shocked when they learned that Su Yiyen wanted to open her own store. However, they didn't object. They felt that this was a good opportunity for Su Yiyen to practice. They were a little worried that she would be tired after opening the store, but they supported her decision with both hands and feet. They even offered to support her with funds. Su Yiyen didn't accept. She only asked for some trustworthy people from the two of them. When the renovation team was done, they would come over to help her. This wasn't difficult for the two of them, so they agreed on the spot. In Su Yiyen's era, although some cultural heritages were declining and most of the animals and plants had gone through a certain period of replacement, most of them were extinct. However, in some aspects, it was still much more advanced than the era in Wen Jingping's previous life. The most obvious difference was technology and infrastructure. In the 21st century, a store that would take a few months to renovate could be completed in a week with advanced equipment and special materials. Moreover, most of the materials used were non-polluting and non-toxic. Basically, it didn't take long for ventilation to move in. The more troublesome part was the design of the store's renovation. Fortunately, there were many design drawings in the system for reference. Su Yiyan chose the best one among them and left the rest to the renovation team. On the 5th day of the renovation team's official construction, Su Yiyan woke up early in the morning and made some porridge and steamed buns for breakfast. Just as he sat down, he saw his uncle and aunt lovingly holding each other's hands as they walked down the stairs with rosy faces. Qing Shuqin and the others also noticed them. They looked at each other and joked, "Why did you come down so late today? Did you stay up too late last night? Mom, aren't you talking nonsense? Just by looking at Auntie's refreshed look, you should know how hard Uncle worked last night." Mr. Su glanced at his eldest son calmly and said without batting an eyelid, "If you're so envious of your uncle, hurry up and find yourself one." Su Yuxuan choked. He rubbed his nose and said helplessly, "It's not like you can find it just because you want to." Qing Shuqin rolled his eyes at his eldest son, his face full of disappointment. "You may not be able to find it if you want to, but if you don't look for it, you definitely won't be able to find it." Su Yuxuan. That might not be the case. When Su Yuxuan saw that breakfast time was about to devolve into a wedding banquet, he looked at Su Yiyan pleadingly, hoping that she could save him. Su Yiyan suppressed her laughter and glanced at him. In the end, she pitied him and pushed the red bean porridge that she had prepared for Qin Shueru. "It's okay, Auntie. Don't listen to my brother's nonsense. You and Uncle are husband and wife. Husband and wife have to do what husband and wife should do. We all understand." It would have been better if Su Yiyan didn't say that. Once she said that, Qin Shueru's ears turned red. She wanted to bury her head in the bowl and not come out. Logically speaking, at her age, she didn't have much passion for certain things. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.